Good morning, Borodar. Borodar, hello, Croizo. Just there we are. Just caught the mysterious fella. Welcome back to the channel. Lots of money. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yes, welcome back to the channel. Here we are on Fallout Shelter. What was I going to say? I'm totally not with it this morning. Yes, welcome back. Oh, yes, sorry. I was going to say the recorder on my phone has been incredibly unreliable of late, so I do apologise if this video suddenly cuts out. This is actually my second attempt at this one. It has been frustrating, to say the least. I do seem to be struggling with power a little bit at the moment. I might need to have some extra dwellers because I could do with a nuclear power plant rather than I've already got three. Oh gosh, my phone's being slow today. I've already got three power rooms. Admittedly, one of them's only got one person working in it, but even so, there should be more power being produced than there currently is. I had a mole rat attack a minute ago, which was very annoying, or at least I say a minute ago when I was doing my last video. The mole rat attack was extremely annoying and meant that I used up most of my stim packs dealing with one attack. Failed. Oh, here we are, mole attack. Now, a mole rat attack is probably the hardest thing to deal with in the game. Now, this one won't be too bad because these mole rats, there are three of them, and they've emerged into a room full of heavily armed dwellers. You can see even though the mole rats are quite outnumbered, they've still managed to do quite a lot of damage to some of my dwellers there. So yeah, they're really annoying. I'm going to try and rush it again because I could really do with some power. So yeah, mole rats bad. They're probably here we go again. They're probably the hardest thing. Room on fire, that's actually a lot better than a mole rat attack. Basically, everything's better than mole rats. They get really in the way. They're really, really, really annoying. Anyway, so the purpose of this video was not to talk about mole rats, although they are, particularly as far as this game is concerned, they're far and away the most dangerous threats you face in your actual vault. Death claws and whatever else attack never manage to kill as many people as mole rats do because they don't really hang around in rooms and whatever, whereas mole rats do. But we're actually here for the mother of all brains, which is the first mission on the new the new bit or the new season of the game. So this is set 2. So Hank has now arrived at my vault, who is Lucy's dad. And going into this, this is the first mission of his series. I need to have completed this by, I think I've got about a week, essentially, to complete this before I get my next, before the next dweller arrives. So my mission is to confront the thieves' leader, reclaim our supplies, uncover the true nature of the thieves. So, scanning Vault-Tec identification, access granted, alert, it has been 1 day since last subject breakout. Tell me more about this outbreak. Experiment mole spy failure. Hostile creatures have taken over the building. Okay, so getting a little bit. This is obviously quite a well-preserved building from the nuclear apocalypse. This one, oh, there we are, a bit more. Now, mole rats are, who wanders woefully within our walls? Okay. Holy Overseer, a talking mole rat. Can I pet you? I've never met a talking mole rat. That is totally new. And having spent the last few minutes complaining about mole rats, it does seem a bit strange. Better believe we bite back. Bam, bam, bam. And these mole rats on missions, nowhere near as annoying as mole rats when they're in your base. In your base, they are horrendous. On a mission, they're kind of meh. You can ignore them. They're no worse than any other creatures. In fact, they're less dangerous than like death claws and feral ghouls, which especially the glowing ones which do radiation poisoning and so on. Mole rats on a mission are no problem at all, but when they hit your base, they're really, really annoying. Anyway, I digress. Come on, go in the room. Anyway, so here is our room. More Mother's Mercy. So yeah, talking mole rats. That's a new one. Are the mole rats controlled? Maybe. Are the death claws controlled? Also maybe. There's a certain degree of these creatures do appear to have, somebody manipulating them, as do the humans in the Fallout universe. It is entirely a manipulative world. So yeah, talking mole rats. Silly squad sniffing for our stash. Stop swiftly or suffer slaughter. A lot of alliteration from these mole rats. Want us gone to want us gone to where to find our stuff. The token textiles to our thirst for tranquility. Take it and turn tail. Okay, that one just gave me money. So obviously got the right answer, the right thing when I was talking to that one. And funnily enough, more mole rats. There we are. So it's going to be a mole rat heavy video, which was like I say, wasn't my original intention. It was supposed to be, but it's supposed to be about the this particular mission. But as it all kind of ties together, let's call it Mole Rats, the Mole Rat video. So here we are. I can see my thing still recording. I will say this at this point in the video. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, etc. And may death come swiftly to your enemies in case it cuts out, because I'll probably post it now if it cuts out at this stage. The last video I did cut out after 15 seconds, and I was talking for about 3 minutes before I realised it had done it, because I don't keep a very close eye on the tiny little dot in the thing. Mole rats got brain implants, failed as spies, but turned into thieves. Getting rid of the brood mother should end their mischief, but there's more. Read about other failed experiments. More facilities to shut down. Let's finish here and investigate. There we are. So, yeah, the mole rats are thieves. Now, mole rats are, hey, caps, junks, outfits, our stolen stuff is here. Let's grab it and leave. Wait, are mole rats rodents? That's a really good, I would say mole rats aren't rodents. They're way too big. They're like, okay, you get big rodents. Your biggest rodent is a capybara, relatively well-known fact. You don't get ones that are bigger than that. And mole rats are bigger. They're hairless. They're some kind of genetic freak. They're more like a pig, I would say, than a rat. They tunnel and burrow and whatever else have you. So I can see why they're called mole rats, but they're random creatures. And lovely though they are, they are a pain. They're a pain in the game, in the actual games, and they're a pain in this one. In this one, they're probably the most dangerous creature when they attack your base. They have a nasty habit of spawning in numerous rooms, and they do an awful lot of damage. These ones, behold the brainiac brood mother, bow before your better. The novelty of talking mole rats have worn off. Man, I'm trying to match your speech, but alliterate. Yeah, I'm going to go with the alliterations one, because I agree there's a lot of alliterations. Alliteration is hard, or can be hard, depending on what you're talking about. And stay silent, sinister strangers, and succumb to our strike. So lots of sounds there. I do like a bit of alliteration. So yeah, so here is the actual brood mother, who presumably once she's dead will be done. But so what are they? They're weird creatures. They're not really rats. They're not really moles. They're obviously mutated from something, but I wouldn't have said they were mutated from rats or moles necessarily. But either way, they're annoying, so they're safely dying. On this mission, we're carrying on. We've done our alliteration, going into the last few rooms. I think we've actually probably, we completed the mission, so now we're just collecting stuff. Mole rats are funny, aren't they? Anyway, I did read an interview with the lady who plays Lucy on the show, who said that she thought death claws are quite cute, which is okay. But I did think, when I was the creature that is universally the sort of, I would say, the most hideous is the mole rat. They're just horrible. It's just very satisfying to unalive them. So there we are. And we're going to just see if there's anything in this last room, and that'll be the end of the video, which is remarkably, my phone has not cut out, which I'm quite pleased about. So there we are. So that's this mission. So that's the first one. What we'll do is we'll return to the vault, and I will, because the game, legendary weapon things, and some useful bits there, hopefully. 8 tokens. Let's use some Nuka-Cola Quantum to get me back to the base. We'll do our spins and we'll call it a day. But yeah, mole rats are definitely one of the most concerning creatures you encounter, and certainly when they attack your vault, I would say they are more dangerous than anything